All right, Lieutenant Dorch, it's good seeing you again. How are you doing today?
I'm well, sir. You?
All right, I'm pretty good.
That's
Happy
good.
to be here. Are you happy?
Absolutely. Things
All
have
right.
been going good, so I'm happy to see you.
Okay, great. So, just want to bring up that, we've been meeting for the past 2 months. Great sessions, in my opinion. And you initially came in as a command referral as a result of a domestic incident you had with your wife.
Right.
Within that first session, we established that your goal was to learn how to manage your anger, correct?
That's right.
All right. I think we further went on to talk about or hit on the fact that you were indecisive about staying with your wife or, leaving, but you made it very clear that you wanted to maintain a relationship with your kids, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. And I think there was a little hesitation of not knowing where or what would happen with your military career as a result of this incident.
Right.
All right, cool. So I just wanted to make sure that we were on the same page. I know within that first session, I gave you some homework. Your first homework or your first task was to sit down with your wife. You guys talk with each other, not at each other, to build upon better or more effective communication. And, within our follow-on sessions, that turned out to be pretty good. It's effective, correct?
All right.
All right, and then we later added more tasks. The first task being breathing techniques. So every day after work, before you walk into the house, you will just do a few deep breaths in, relax, just to get you in a good, clear mental space. And in addition to that, I told you to start journaling your thoughts and feelings throughout the day. So just curious, what are some of the most memorable moments of our time together that you have?
All right. I think for me, what has been the most memorable, thinking back to our first session, I was really concerned about what was going to happen with my career. And, through our time working together, you let me know that although this has been a command referred session or sessions, it's important to note that my career would not be heavily impacted by this as long as I was able to work through it and go through the process. And so it allowed for me to, take on those tasks of, communicating with my wife and incorporating the breathing techniques in a more succinct manner because I knew that everything else wasn't going to be so greatly affected by it. And so for me, that was the most memorable part, understanding that, I was just going to be able to remain in the Army.
Well, that's great, man. That's good to know. So our goal was for you to learn how to manage your anger better. How would you say, where do you think you're at as far as accomplishment, or you're still on the road, or what do you think?
In terms of managing my anger, it was definitely built around the Army and making sure that everything is working itself out. In terms of arguments that my wife and I have been having, they've decreased dramatically. I think that since we've been able to communicate more effectively with one another, that we've been able to actually hear one another in our communication and kind of getting from one another what each other needs from one another. And it's helped. I mean, I think in the beginning I told you that, we've been married for 8 years, together for 7. And so we've never been in a place like this. And so to finally be able to work through that has been great.
That's great. Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Thank you,
That's
sir.
awesome. So, every time you came in, I had you rate your level of anger on a scale. So as you can see here, we tracked your progress over the week, and you said 2, or with 1 being the most sad you've ever been, you was at a 2, and 10 being the highest. If you can just look at this scale, you can see that you've been going up on the happy ladder, is what I like to call it. So that's really, really great. That's showing progress. You have something a little bit more objective to look at. How does that make you feel seeing your progress over these past 8 weeks?
I can definitely see in your chart over the past few weeks how it corresponds with my mood. And so I noticed that once some of the stress about my employment and things of that nature went down, my happiness went up. And so it's just good to see that you were able to chart that as well without me verbally having to tell you, and kind of seeing a measure that would rate my happiness over time, and that, that paper is consistent with exactly how I feel.
That's good. Well, I'm personally proud of you. I'm happy to see this progress that you're going through. You're going upward on, so that's pretty good. I'm just curious to know, you know, for our practice here in social work, has there been anything specifically that I've done that was particularly helpful to you, or?
Right, I think I shared it a little bit earlier, but definitely when you let me know that I wasn't going to lose my career, that's been the most helpful thing. And also just encouraging me to do the journaling piece. It's been a while since I've wrote about myself, and so just having something to look forward to at the end of the night, just to kind of settle my energy a little bit after, you know, long days at work and then trying to reconcile my relationship. That has been one activity that has probably had the most impact on me, where I could just kind of be one with my thoughts and really chronicle how I feel about things.
Right. Well, I'm glad that was helpful. I'm just sharing this with you. That's something that I personally do. I've also recommended journaling to other clients as well, and I've seen similar progress in their mood and behavior. So I'm glad that was helpful for you. So, have you given any thought about us ending our session? You know, we've only had 10, and here we are at week 9. So, what are your thoughts about that?
Right. Man, I hadn't really considered that so much. I know that our time has to come to an end, but we've been able to really discuss things thoroughly, and I really hadn't considered it. But you know, maybe in a few more sessions we can begin to think about what that looks like for us.
A few more sessions. We only have this one and our next one. We're at week 9. Remember, we started with 10 weeks. So
Okay.
yeah, so this is week 9, but nonetheless, something to think about. Obviously, I see where you made considerable progress, and I don't see the need to extend you any longer. So I would just let you know that once again, I'm definitely happy with where things are going for you in your life. I would like to touch on your relationship with your wife. Are you guys in a good place now? Have you decided to reconcile and stay together? What's going on with that?
Well, we're definitely in a good place. We've been communicating a little bit more, and so what we have agreed upon is out. You know, before I was telling you that she was missing home a lot, or it felt like she just needed to go back to that place, and so we've agreed just every couple of months that she'll be able to go back home so that she can reconcile, or you know, reestablish a relationship with her family. And just kind of be in a home environment for about a week or so, and then come back here. And so that way she's not going to be away from home for as long periods at a time as she initially thought, and she's being able to interact and remain close to her family. And so that's what she wanted through our conversations, and so that's something that we thought would be best for our relationship as well, so that she can maintain that, and then I can also have some time to focus on myself too. And then, you know, after a week, she'll come back and have the children with her, and so I'll be able to remain a consistent factor in the lives of my children as well.
That's awesome. You know what I hear here?
What do you hear, sir?
You came in with one issue, we addressed that issue, and now you're learning how to work through your own issues without any help. That's progress. I'm proud of you. All right. Just looking back, though, was there anything that could have been done better? Is there anything I could have done that may have been more helpful than what we discussed?
I think looking back, no, I think that you gave me all the tools that I needed to be successful with dealing with my anger, dealing with how my career was going to be impacted, and also dealing with my family life. So I think we've done good there.
Well, I appreciate that, Lieutenant Dortch. Do you have any unresolved issues right now, or things pretty status quo in your life?
I think things are pretty good right now. I think a lot of unresolved issues came up between her and I when we were able to communicate a little bit more. And so we were able to establish what that means for us. And so we've kind of worked through that just through some of the things that you've asked me to do separately. And so all the unresolved issues, I think, are in a pretty good place.
All right. So you're now managing your own problems. You're looking at your own internal strengths. How do you plan on maintaining on this trajectory of, you know, dealing with issues and resolving issues?
I think that it's going to be important for us to keep that open dialogue so that we know exactly where one another feels. And I think that was really a key part that was missing in our relationship from the beginning. I think from there, it has been able to create us going on dates and having date nights. We've been able to find a sitter here in town. And so continuing just some of the little things that you take for granted when you're in a relationship is one way that we'll be able to kind of monitor what's going on and keep on top of this good place that we're in now.
Okay, well, that's good. So you're saying just that open communication between the two of you has been effective, and you plan on just communicating, keeping those lines open. So if anything ever comes up, you guys can work through it.
Yes, sir.
All right. I would like to talk about how are you planning on dealing with your own personal anger or managing that anger. Right now, you're on a good trend upward. So how do you plan on maintaining that?
I think with all the techniques and tools that you've given me, such as the breathing, I started participating in the warrior yoga that's happening within my unit. And so between those things and just kind of taking breathers when I need to and meditating when I need to, whenever I'm feeling stressed, whether it be at work or at home, just taking a couple of minutes to myself has always been helpful.
All right. So when it comes to your anger, we're going to continue those techniques that we learned together. When it comes to communicating with your wife, keeping those lines of communication open. Obviously, you and your wife agreed to her going back home. It sounds quarterly, just so that she can get peace of mind, kind of be within her family circle or whatnot. It allows you some downtime to kind of relax from the kids running around or whatever.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
those are all good things. I'm seeing nothing but progress going forward. I think you have all the tools that you need, and if you need to come back, we can get you back in here. But right now, I think you're on a good track forward, and I'm excited to see things for you in the future. So thank you for being open with me. Thank you for allowing me to share the knowledge that I have to help improve your situation. And I wish the best of luck for you, man.
Thank you.
All right. You have my cell phone number. Have a good day after that, and that's good.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.